Hello, everyone. I hope you're all really great and you are having a good week. I am making this video today and popping it up on my YouTube channel and my social media pages. So this is a one that everybody has access to because there is some very important information wanting to come through me today that may be of assistance to you right now. Sorry, that was my chair. It is around fear and the shadow aspects of self, and maybe you are experiencing are experiencing moments of terror or panic or immense fear coming up through you. Maybe feeling like you're trying to control it, you're trying to put a lid on it, and you're trying to understand it with your mind, and you're not maybe really finding the root cause of it or what is happening. You may be having this experience within yourself, or it may be coming up from triggers that you are experiencing around you. So this morning, as I sit down every morning and check in with myself and my higher self and my angels and my guides, the celestial family, I call it, this has come into my awareness that many people are experiencing this right now. And my job is to hold space for clients and hold space in workshops and in groups, and to bring through information from my guides that may assist and bring clarity and guidance for us all. So when I began my journey back deeply into my ascension, I call it, and the ascension is really coming back to the truth of your being, to your soul self, and unearthing and unlayering a lot of programming, a lot of belief systems that are not based on the truth of us. So when I talk about the truth of us, I'm talking about the soul self. When I began my journey, and I've always been this way, and possibly many of you that are interested in this type of work are that way. I've always shied away from the dark. I was afraid of the dark, literally at nighttime. I used to fight with my sister to keep the light on. And anything on the news, anything on the media, movies, anything like that that shows a lot of violence, I was always very sensitive to it. I don't like blood. I feel if I look at blood, I feel like I'm going to be sick. So anything gory, anything like that, I've always avoided. And I've never had reason to believe or think that I need to look at the darkness until I began immersing back into the my soul journey, which probably is happening now, maybe 3 years fully immersed and awakening to who I really am. There's been pockets throughout years, which we all will have and moments. But this devotion, this journey that I'm on right now, is probably 3 linear years. And what I was shown was that in me, in all of us, we have the potential to play in the light or play in the dark. We have past lives or parallel lives playing out where we possibly have played in the dark. And are moving back into the light, which is, eternal, unconditional love. So, in order for true healing to come into our lives and to be born, reborn within us, and be manifested within us, we cannot overlook, ignore, or dust. I'm getting a visual of dusting under the carpet, the darkness. So the darkness is the shadow aspects of self, the shadow aspects of humans, the shadow aspects of the world. This is where we have played in very heavy energies, where we have become perpetrators to others, or they have become perpetrators to us. So we are experiencing very heavy, low dense emotions, pains, traumas, sufferings, abuse. The list is endless in that area. I see and I read the energy field and I feel it as a vibration because everything is a vibrationally a vibrational field, a vibrational frequency. So when we are in the darkness and we are in the shadow aspects, I feel and sense that as a lower vibrational energy field. The more I connect with my divine, with my higher self, my angels and guides, celestial team, it's moving at such a high field of vibration. So it's a huge expansion. In order for true healing to come into play, we can do all of our affirmations, we can do our yoga, we can do our chanting and our chiming and our walking in nature and all of the wonderful things to get out of the head and into the body, which is all important. However, unless we are willing to look at our deepest, darkest fears within our very being head on, we will never move through our traumas. So fear is a key here. If we are experiencing fear right now within our bodies, it is a doorway for us to walk through. Everything you want in your life that you have not manifested is when on the other side of fear, you walk through your fear to get to exactly what you want in your life. The fear is coming up because it's showing you there is unhealed parts within you. Now, it's very important here that discernment is key. Most of the time when we are in fear, we are in our heads. So it's thought processes. There's a huge factor playing in here of programming and belief systems in the mental body. We are overthinking things. Thinking then is bringing us into a state of panic. So, everything is connected. So our mental body is going into overdrive. It's triggering our physical body. Our physical body thinks we're in danger. It activates the fight and flight within us. Our adrenal levels go crazy. Our cortisol levels go crazy. Our hearts are racing, and we can experience, if that doesn't reset, we can experience ongoing chronic anxiety or always in fear and in fight and flight mode. You will know if you're in this because you're always on edge. It's like you can never switch off or relax. So the mind can get triggered, and then the physical body is gone into play. Also, the emotional body. We are not taught unless we retrain ourselves to tap into our emotional field. Our emotional body, I feel, is the core root source of every other issue that may be playing in our field. So suppression of our emotions. However, sometimes we have blocked ourselves off so much from our emotions that we don't know what we're feeling. We don't feel at all. Or sometimes we are so overwhelmed by our emotions that they burst out of us, and it's like projectile energetic vomit on top of people because it's become too much. The suppression of the emotional body has become too much. So how we navigate through this, how we navigate through our journeys, is by being gentle with ourselves. Nobody can tell you what is best for you but you. So I'm here to hold space. We can support each other and give guidance to each other. Nobody has any right to tell you what is best for you, only you. So the more you start to listen to your own intuition, your own guidance, and your own feelings, what's important to you, when you come back to you, that's when you start to really baby steps on your journey home to yourself. So a lot of the time we are also designed to look for answers outside of us, look for solutions outside of us, look for somebody else to fix us. While everything you need is within you. We look within, but we don't look within here. It's very, very important. And this took me a long time to grasp. I had a very, very stubborn ego. My ego was in the driving seat very much most of my life. Thankfully, it's finally taking its step back, and the divine in me, the higher mind of me and the higher heart of me is in play most of the time now. This has took a lot of devotion and a lot of practice, but it was worth it. So when we can begin to take a step back from trying to come up with solutions to everything, The mind, when it is in the driving seat, the mind can create and is the creator of most problems. Most problems that we have in our mind never happen. Most scenarios that we think are going to play out never happen. So a lot of what's happening in the mind, it is illusion. It's not the truth of even what's going to play out, but it's our imagination and it's our thought process, and we find it hard to switch off. So if we are creating a huge amount of turmoil in our lives, we are being triggered left, right, and center, and it's moving into the mental body. This mind that we are in, that state of mind that we are in, if that's creating our problem, how could it possibly be able to create the solution? Because the mind is the problem at that stage. So this is why we get caught in these loops. I'm looking at the wheel behind me, the hamster on the wheel going round and round and round in circles. I'm thinking this is something, so I've got this scenario in my mind, I've got this problem in my mind, it's blown up, it's triggering every other aspect of me emotionally and physically, it's growing like legs and tails on it. And then I'm using the same energy to come up with a solution. And then that's okay. It might suffice and it might settle you for a few days or whatever. And then you go back in again. So the mind, the ego is always in control. Now, the ego is not designed to destroy us. The ego is designed to protect us from dangers from ourselves, dangers from others. But the ego will keep us contracted and keep us small. True healing is surpassing the ego. And, we don't have to look too far to look back in time and go through, so many different cultures, so many different types of religions, so many types of different spiritual practices talk about stilling the mind and moving into the breath. So sometimes it will be what works for you and follow your own resonance. I'm getting really loudly here. The creative arts are something that cannot be overlooked and should not be overlooked as a method and a way back into a calming, still mind, using your hands. So if you're somebody that finds it very hard to sit still, very hard to be in a state of being, especially if you have right now an overworked physical nervous system, you cannot sit down. And I've been there. I know what that's like. I used to say, I have a bee in my arse, I cannot sit down. I used to be go-go all the time. You're not going to be one to be able to sit and meditate, but maybe physical exercise is quite good, getting out of the body then. And then after your run or after your sports or whatever, that sweet spot, you know what I'm talking about. When you come back from your exercise, you come back from releasing energetically through the physical, that's the sweet spot when the mind is quiet. That's when the mind is not at play. And that's when you have the opportunity to take some breath and move into the heart. Putting the hands on the heart will take practice, and breathing into the heart. Saying even these words, 2 lines, I see you. I see you, the heart of me, and I feel you, the heart of me. That's all. Start with that. It seems so simple, but that is enough to start opening the doorway. It is listening the soul of us. Our angels, our guides are with us all the time, but we are so far up into our heads and into go, go, go that we need to quieten all of this down. And when this starts to happen, when this starts to quieten down, the soul of us will reveal its treasures and its jewels. Now, at the moment, there's a lot happening energetically. Our world is moving into a huge energetic upgrade. So it's as if Mother Earth, Gaia, our home, is moving into a space in the universe where it's bombarded with very high energy. So remember, we are light. So I see everything as energy, and anything that is moving at a very high level of resonance or high energy is very expanded, beautiful, loving consciousness. When we're moving into that outside of us, so we are, we don't see it with the physical eye, but we can feel it and sense it. We're moving into a very high energy frequency on Earth right now. There's lots of shifts happening within Earth, below the center of the Earth. And, this is even, you need to be completely spiritual. There is scientific studies around this as well. If you're more stuck in that science mind still, there is huge amount of studies done about what's happening. The magnetic pull of the fields as well. There's a lot happening here. So we're going through a huge shift globally. We're moving into a higher level of energy, and this is having an effect on us as well, because we're living in this world, we're relating and connecting to each other, we're all experiencing that. So when we are holding more light in us, more light is coming from outside into our bodies, whether we're aware of it or not, it's having an effect on us. It's activating any slower, darker, dense energy that is stored within us in our energetic fields. It is pushing that and shaking that loose within us. So even if we don't want this to happen or not right now, in our mind's eye, this is actually happening. So there's a lot of high energy moving through our being, shaking loose a lot of dense, stubborn energy that we may have unconsciously suppressed down within us. And this shaking loose is literally releasing this from us. So this is where we may be experiencing moments of panic, moments of fear, because the heart of us, the portal of our heart, is being activated right now. The mind is not going to understand, the ego, that part of it is not going to understand, because this is happening on an energetic, on a soul level. The heart chakra is opening. The heart is the capacity to hold unconditional love for everybody. And the opposite, the shadow aspect of love, is fear. So when this portal of the heart is opening, this is when huge masses of suppressed fear is coming up to be released. So breathing, centering, trusting, like the river of life flowing through you. If you wrestle with it, if you resist it, it just becomes bigger and you suffer more and more. When you can begin to trust in yourself, trust in the divine energy, your soul energy, call in your angels and guides, breathe through it and it'll pass. Breathe through it and it'll pass. It is waves clearing that which is no longer serving you within your very being. So fear is being released from you. Also, when we can begin to surrender more and more and trust in this process, we begin to then look at our fears. So remember what I said, everything we ever want is on the other side of fear. Facing our fear, sitting with the sensations in our bodies. Fear is an emotion. It's not a thought process. The thoughts can bring about fear. It's an emotion. It's a heavy emotion. Fear attaches us and tethers us to the darkness. So when we don't move through fear, when we stay in fear or are stuck in fear, that's when we feel like the darkness is consuming us. But when we do not fear anymore, the darkness doesn't have any hold on us. It cannot hold us. It has to move through us. Fear is what keeps it tethered to us. So when we can begin to make peace with our fear, even though it's very painful and even though it's very uncomfortable, making peace and sitting with the emotion of fear, breathing through it. I see you and I feel you. It's an emotion. Allow it to move through the body. Remember, it's not coming from the mind space. It's coming from an emotion within you. So part of my journey, a part of your journey will be moving forward, is having to look, and it's not that you're going looking, it's unearthing within you huge fears. So I've had to address aspects of myself, deepest fears within myself. And some of these fears may not be yours. They may be coming from your bloodline, from your ancestral line, that may not have had the opportunity to be cleared. That's coming up within you to be cleared as well. So this is why the more we move into the heart of us, not through the mind, trusting this is moving through me, not labeling and attaching, allowing this flow to come through, easier it will be. You will move through it. Also aspects of self as within. So I've had to look at a lot of, and it's been shown, my angels and guides were always with me, shadow aspects of self, the underworld within ourselves. All of these fears and all of these attachments that we have are there to teach us something, to teach us and show us ways where we were not loving ourselves, where we were not taking care of ourselves, where we were allowing ourselves to be victimized or feeling unworthy. All of that is being cleared right now, but also as within, so without. So we're seeing outside of us as well a lot of fear. So I was saying at the start, I didn't like to look at fear. I wanted to run away from it. But I learned that part of my spiritual journey and journey back to the truth of me was having to make peace with it, having to accept that this is a part of life. And the only way I'm going to finally move into a place of peace within myself is sit with my fears and look at them and recognize they're not the truth of me. They are illusion. This is also being shown outside of us right now. So I've been shown my angels and guides. I've been shown a lot of exceptionally dark things that have been happening and playing out in our world for a long, long time, but it's come up unearthing into my awareness. So how do I digest this information? How do I react to this information that's coming around me? So the darkness is being unearthed within us, and you will also see it being unearthed outside of you. You will hear of stories. There will be things coming up in your feed or on the media or on the news that you may be shocked about. What's the truth is unearthing itself. But remembering, as this purging is happening, it is purging because it is being released, it is dissolving, and then it has to be seen. Every darkness has to be brought into the light, be seen. I see you and I feel you. I recognize this as an aspect of self in need of absolute love. And then we move through it and come back into peace and centeredness and balance. I'm going to pick a card as well, just to see if anything else wants to come through around this. If you like my work and my videos, and I have a beautiful Patreon community that I have started. It is a VIP and it is a monthly membership. I've started it about 3 weeks ago, and already there is many healing meditations, talks, chats with other soul sisters and people that are in this line of work. It's going to be a community that I've been guided to build for this coming year. And I will pop the link below, and be grateful if you come and join me. So it is, lots of talks about relevant aspects in your journey. This month of January, I brought through a lot of healing meditations. There's a beautiful one you listen to in the morning, one you can listen to at night. There's a very powerful healing from thought, transformational healing, which is brought through from the halls of Amenti, and a lot of talks around depression and a spiritual approach and a spiritual view on depression. I'm going to bring one through this week as well around anxiety and methods and ways for coping with anxiety. My journey and my work is to assist each and every soul that crosses my path to ignite their own potential. To ignite and reclaim their own sovereignty. Because as this fear is moving through us, we are healing, we are becoming whole again. Separation from ourselves and others is an illusion. This is what we are breaking down and breaking through right now. And when you're coming back to the wholeness of you, that's when you feel your true peace, your true contentment. So we are being challenged right now. We are being asked to surrender the ego. We are being asked, can we move beyond the mindset and into the heart of us and reconnect with your own energy within you, your own soul within you. And this is a nice confirmation with the willow. The willow tree represents our power, our light, our support. You know, the willow is a powerful tree of wisdom, the wisdom that we carry, the codes within our DNA, within our soul blueprint of where we're from. Every lifetime we've ever had is carried within us right now. We have access to immense potential to heal and change ourselves and help and assist others to do so. And this is what we are tapping into right now. We have immense help from guides and celestial families around us. And this is something that I never would have predicted or foreseen, but it's only through my own personal journey. I connect in with my soul self every single day, and I ask, what is it that I need to bring through? What is it I need for myself and for my family? And there's a huge amount of surrender being asked for us right now, a huge amount of trusting in the process, trusting in the divine, moving back to the heart of us. Because this is the portal, this is the power of us through the heart, and this is where immense shift and change will happen. I hope this video has helped to assist you and support you in some way today. If you like my work, please subscribe on my YouTube channel below, or follow me on my Instagram and Facebook page, and I'll pop in the details of my Patreon if you would like to join. Have a beautiful day and talk to you soon. Bye bye.